toss your agency question.
Yeah, so I guess the big picture question is how big of a role does outreach, like cold email and calls, play in your new client funnel compared to inbound? And then micro is, I'm presuming you do some type of outreach. Do you find Amazon data particularly challenging to scrape because of the costs? Without getting micro, like I've used tools where it's really expensive hiring VAs.
How can I help?
We are a marketplace agency highly focused on Amazon, obviously. It's one of the biggest marketplace on revenues. I was going to ask you first, based on the team structure, right? Once you start growing, I'm thinking, let's say periods such as pandemia, for example, that suddenly there's a lot of highly demand of companies and brands that want to get onboarded, and I mean, sometimes you have to change some process to adapt all that growth. How did you manage the team growth in your agency?
Yeah, this is a really hard question.
And the teams, in a way, to manage all the process involved? Because, I mean, at the beginning, you're like, let's say you are the hero, right? Everybody knows you, and that's why all the clients come inside. I trust this guy. But, I mean, behind you, that's a team, right? And then keeping that team growing, keeping that client, let's say, connected to the agency, regardless that they haven't been in touch with you in a long time. How do you manage all that
those particular clients? And it may change, but yeah. So I guess the question is, and I'd be curious to hear from you, what your trajectory was early on, and what your thoughts were on scaling your business, and if consistency was a factor in that, or was your revenue quite consistent early on that you were comfortable diving in?
Here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice. Super. So the question is, I think this is a common problem, but we battle with making significant profits at year end. Even though we grow client acquisition each year quite significantly, we've brought in a strategist role, we have client success managers servicing customers. We have really worked on our onboarding.
I want you to take 2 minutes, giving me as much context as possible, but I already know the answer to your question is going to be raised prices. So with that, keep going, and we'll work our way to that answer.
Okay, interesting. Thank you. So we're really doing all the right things to try and service the customer, give them the right strategy, give them the right onboarding, try and assess risks up front. Walking them through implementation processes, getting them into monthly management, advertising, etc. And then we tend to overservice the clients in order to keep them. We have a problem with actually retaining the customers year on year. And so it feels like filling the sausage machine each year with new clients, and only a certain number of children survive.
Yes.
Perfect. Stephen, as a founder of the agency, the number one question I have is, how do we create that predictable lead flow and sales flow? And I was hearing the entire discussion on, let's say, how you have a high churn model, which ultimately means that you need more clients onboarded every month. And on the top of it, you grow 8%. So that's even more. So how have you done it? I mean, whatever you can share, that will be really helpful. And second is, what is the role of the content in it? And